Hey everybody, this is Cheryl here to do a review and a recap of 7 Seconds. We're going to do 7 Seconds, episode 8, which is called The Bailout. In episode 7, we find out that KJ and Fish was able to get to pinpoint Pete by Letish, and she was able to identify him. In episode 7, we're going to see that Nadine, not only did she see Pete, but she also saw D'Angelo, Felix, and Murphy look inside of the ditch. And basically, all four of them walked away from Bennett. And when he was in that ditch, he was basically still alive. So this is where the bailout comes into play, which is called the bailout episode 8. We see that KJ and Fish has basically put Nadine under custody protection. But basically what Nadine has did, and she has no idea what she's getting ready to do, is she's getting ready to put Nadine in harm's way. How she's going to put Nadine in harm's way, we know that KJ and James, who is the head prosecutor of the police department, basically KJ told James where Nadine was, and Nadine was in Rhode Island under the protection of Fish's ex-wife. And basically, what James did is he put Nadine in harm's way. Now, how he put Nadine in harm's way, he basically pulled her out of Rhode Island and put her in a kid's detention. And so when we see that Fish and KJ is preparing to get ready to go in front of the grand jury, and is getting ready to go in front of the bailout, the hearing for a bailout. And so we basically see KJ in the court, requesting to have D'Angelo, D'Angelo, Peter, um, Murphy, have them to stay in jail until the trial. And so, of course, the courthouse was filled with cops and all other people looking on. So they were making all these kind of noises when basically KJ was telling the judge exactly what she wanted. She wanted to have them to stay in court or have a $500,000 bail set in cash for each individual. And so, of course, that's when the courtroom went up in flames and everything. And this is when we get to see Kaddish, which is Bennett's friend, and we find out that Kaddish and Bennett was a little bit more than friends. And this is where I said this is where we as black people don't really like to talk about gay and be black and gay in the community. And so we find out that Kaddish was very upset due to the fact that the bail was set for $25,000, each of them with no cash bail. And so we find out that they don't get a chance to stay in jail. But we also find out that KJ tells the judge that the reason why she wanted that bail set so high is because all four of them saw Bennett in the ditch. And when KJ found out about it, this is where she wanted to do. This is how the manslaughter came into play. Now, this is also where we get to meet the pit bull of the defense. And that pit bull's lawyer's name is Sam Henderson. Now, Sam Henderson is supposedly be one of the best lawyers when it comes to defending cops. And so James tells KJ who the defendant lawyer is. And of course, Sam Henderson is at the courthouse when she hears what KJ is proposing. And she had no idea that her defenders was basically there on the scene, and that they left this child in the ditch to basically die. And this is how we find out that uh, Bennett was alive while in the ditch, but nobody was there to he would probably still be alive if they basically did what they were supposed to do. But they didn't, because they were crooked cops. And not only were they crooked cops, they were also racist cops. And so by them being crooked and racist, and the child that they hit was a black African American young boy who they automatically assumed that he was a gangbanger, and basically he wasn't a gangbanger, but his partner was a gangbanger, and he wasn't. So we also find out at the courthouse that the bike that Bennett was riding was not his bike. It was Kadish's bike. And how we find out that that bike was Kadish's bike is because Kadish told Isaiah, while he was at Isaiah's house, what type of relationship that he and Bennett had. And so basically we find out that Bennett was a gay young boy. And so basically when Isaiah finds out that Bennett was a gay young boy, he did not want to accept the fact that he had a gay son. And he threw Kadish, because Kadish basically went to Isaiah to talk about, Bennett, a little bit more about Bennett. And Isaiah and him, Kadish went up to Isaiah's room, and this is what Kadish basically saw, um, uh, Bennett's room, and this is where Isaiah learned a little bit more about his son. And when he found out a little bit about his son, he basically told Kadish that his son was basically wasn't like that, and that for him to get out. Now, what he did is that he took Kadish and he basically threw him down the steps. I think he threw him down the steps, and he threw him out the door. Now, in the meantime, we see that uh, Fish and KJ and Nadine is inside of the prosecutor's office preparing for the grand jury trial to see whether or not if the trial will basically go to court. And so this is where we find out that not only did Nadine basically see Pete and Murphy and Felix and D'Angelo look down at the ditch, but she also looked down at the ditch, and she did not try to go out and to get any help. The reason why, she's a dopehead, so she's strung out, and she's not gonna try to go get any help or anything, but she basically apologized. So now this is where it gets really messy and sticky. Nadine is basically upset because Fish goes and finds out that she is basically in a detention for girls is because of James. And James went and have her taken out of the custody, and she was basically safe because they had no idea where she was. But when they took her out of Long Island and brought her back to New Jersey, this is where Nadine, and I'm just going to tell you all, Nadine gets killed. And because basically what Nadine does is that she's very, very hard-headed. She's strung out. She basically don't want to listen to anything. And she was in Long Island, but she was like, working in Long Island at a dog kennel, and she fell in love with this pup. So she went and got this dog. And how she got this dog is like she escaped from the detention hall where she was being held at. And so she got this dog. And so D'Angelo and them, being that they were not in jail, being that the bail was set so low that they were able to get out, they went and they got Nadine. They snatched up Nadine. Now, in the meantime, we go and we see that Isaiah is so trenched into, we talk about Ben's father. Isaiah is so trenched up into the church that he calls in the and then he calls in basically the pastor, and he tells the pastor that he had no idea that he had a son that was like that, and that was the meaning that he was saying that he was gay, and that he didn't like it, and he thought that his son would basically be better than him, and that he would get married, have grandkids, and apparently it turns out that he had neither of that. And so basically the pastor asked him exactly, to make a long story short, it's basically he could be born like this, and what is your issue? And I found that very interesting when the pastor said that he could be basically born the way he is, and how do you feel that how do you feel about that? And he tells the pastor, well, it's an abomination, and it's against, and it's against, and that's basically how a lot of people feel. But you really have to really think about it. Now, we have centuries and centuries of gay people, centuries. It's not just in the United, it's all over the world. Gay people are being born every second or whatever, and so you have to really think about it. You have to really think about it. And so he basically, and then we skip that one. And so Isaiah has found out that his son is gay. Now, in the meantime, we have to look at Seth. Seth is totally upset due to the fact that Messiah knew that police killed his nephew, so he was upset. And so basically, we see Seth, and prior didn't really mention it, prior that he goes into the veterans office, and we see him sitting there, and he see this guy moving back and forth, always wanting to hold the seat. And so he's basically thinking that this guy is basically smoking and everything. And really to make a long story short, he was a Muslim, and so therefore he was praying. So he took time out because they prayed, I think twice or 12 times. I don't really know. But anyway, he was praying. And so we find out that Seth finds out that Messiah knows about his nephew being killed. In the meantime, we see Letitia has no idea what is going on due to the fact that Isaiah has this new information. Now, we go back and we find out that Sam is the pit bull lawyer who's defending Peter and D'Angelo. We go back and Sam is really, really heated due to the fact of what KJ is basically asking for, manslaughter. So she goes back and she tells him, I asked you all, and I'm going to say to her, she said, I asked you assholes, was there anything that I should know about? Oh, so you just happen to forget that the fact that you guys did not help this young guy out of the ditch, and knowing that he was still alive, you could have saved his life, but you guys decided to walk away from it. And she's basically telling them that you guys, you're a bunch of assholes. And she said that had I known that this is what you guys have done, I would have never took the case. She said I would have never took the case because you guys took an oath, and that to uphold the law, and you did not uphold the law. Now, how can you tell a bunch of crooked ass cops to uphold the law when they're out there gang banging themselves in police, perpetrating in police, and they taking and stealing? How can you expect them to uphold the law when they're breaking the law at the same time? And the criminal system are basically a bunch of assholes anyway. So we go on and we find out that now this is where KJ makes her mistake. She made her mistake when she told James, the prosecutor, where Nadine was. So now D'Angelo and them has found this child, had kidnapped this child, put her in their car, and drive her somewhere out in the woods. So we open up the car door, and who we see? We see Nadine in the trunk. And she's of course hollering and screaming. And she's kind of like out of her head, and she's saying like, look, I won't say anything, I won't testify, just let me go or anything. Then this when we see D'Angelo take the girl out of the trunk, and pull his gun and begin to point it. And this is when we see Fish. No, this is when we see not Fish, this is when we see Phyllis saying, do it, do it, do it, do it. So basically he didn't couldn't do it. He couldn't kill Nadine. So Nadine gets away from D'Angelo, and she runs out into the woods, right? In the meantime, D'Angelo's down on his knees, a little crooked ass mother, anyway, little crooked ass, right? And so this is when we see Felix. Now Felix was the only person who could have gotten away with not really being a part of, what was going on. But now Felix has death underneath his hands. The reason why I said Felix has death underneath on his hands is because he killed Nadine. He killed Nadine, right? He kills Nadine, right? And this is when it ends with the fact that we see Felix has killed Nadine. Now, and it goes off. Now, I'm really upset with KJ because KJ had never told James exactly where Nadine was. And Nadine put herself in harm's way when she, got out of the detention and to go get a dog because she fell in love with the dog. And meantime, Letitia has no idea that her son, Bennett, is basically a gay boy, and that Isaiah knows this information. The reason why he knows this information is because he found out from Kadish, which is Bennett's, I guess we could say Bennett's lover. And so it goes on, but I find this very, very interesting. This is a very good crime series. And I'm hoping that it gets picked up. We don't know whether or not it gets picked up or anything. But look, guys, I have two more to do. I mean, it was very, very hard for me to keep, to keep at it and to do these 10 reviews and recaps. But I'm at it. So we are at episode 8, and episode 8 was the bailout. And so I want you guys, what I'm going to tell you, what my spiel is. Look, I want you to hit the notification. I want you to hit the thumbs up, the thumbs down. I want you to subscribe. I want you to comment. And I want you to, let me know what you think. But most of all, the reason why, I want you to hit that notification. And like I've been telling you guys, I want you to hit that notification is because you never know when I'm going to pop up and when I'm going to come back. So when I do come back, you want to be the first to get what I have to say when it comes to reviews or entertainment or anything. And everything that I post, I'm all things Cheryl unapologetic. So anything that I post, hey, that's it, and that's how I feel it. That's what I'm gonna do. And so I'm gonna say until the next time, I'm gonna say peace and love, and love is for everyone. Um, peace and love. Hey, hit that notification. I need for you to hit that notification. And most of all, I need for you to subscribe. I'm doing pretty good. Got 104. I mean, hey, I know I've been around, but really I've been trying. I'm being consistent. I've been throwing up, but not throwing, I mean putting videos up. And I'm thinking I'm getting pretty good at this review because I'm getting prepared for, hey, Queen Sugar, it's getting ready to roll back. And I'm going to be on key, on target with that. That's no joke. And so, like I said, till the next time, peace and love.